Aloha. Aloha, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. This is my second attempt today. I had to stop earlier. I came on live and I had gotten the times wrong for an appointment, a session I was doing. So I was on for like 6 minutes and then had to get off suddenly. So I apologize for that. Gotta flow with the times, right? The energy of the times. It's not always smooth sailing, you know, but I think we end up where we need to be at the right time eventually. Just keep trusting. So welcome, y'all. It's day 28 of the 40 days of Reiki, and my intention with this series is to honor Jesus, who is deeply involved with Holy Fire Reiki and the healing work that I do during this extremely sacred time of year, Lent, and to show up every day here and educate, inform, inspire, and intrigue you about Reiki as a tool for healing in mind, body, soul, and spirit, as well as a tool for spiritual awakening and a spiritual path in and of itself, which I'm discovering it really can be that. As I always say, Reiki a la carte, take what you like, leave what take what you like, leave the rest, and your relationship to Reiki can be whatever you want it and need it to be. So for some people, it's strictly a healing tool. For others, like myself, I use it fully. You know, it is my spiritual path as well as a deep part of the healing work I do on myself and with other people. So it is very, very rich. The more I work with the energy, the more I learn about it, the more I interact and engage in dialogue with it. Because Reiki is conscious life force energy. It's spiritually guided life force energy. Maybe you've heard of chi or prana or ki or one of these terms like that. Well, Reiki, ki is energy, but it's Rei. It's from a very, very high source of consciousness, God consciousness, if that resonates with you, or just think about it coming from one of the highest heavens. It's an ascended consciousness, an illumined, enlightened consciousness. And my experience of it is very loving consciousness, loving, compassionate, beautiful, kind, powerful consciousness. It's not a kind of sort of, oh, like, I'm not sure if it's working or like it's real. No, it's like it's a definite physical, palpable energy. So, with all that being said, please share these videos if you're feeling some healing. It's a way you can give back from the healing you receive. Share it to your stories, to your social media. to any friends or family members who you think may benefit from some healing energy and what we're talking about here today. And all of these end up on my IGTV at Joyful Raw Life, as well as my YouTube, Taylor A. Norris. So you can always go back and see one that you missed in the past. I am teaching Reiki 1 and 2 online in May. Y'all can get on the wait list for that. Registration will be open in the next couple days. So I'm very excited about that. I'm teaching it online with Zoom. So you can take it wherever you are in the world. You tune in live. We create a sacred container online. It's very deeply healing, connective, transformative, phenomenal experience, Reiki 1 and 2. It's appropriate if you're a beginner, you're brand new to Reiki, as well as if you've had training at any level in any other lineage. Everyone is welcome. And also, no matter what your beliefs are, or no matter how you connect spiritually or religiously, if you have a spiritual or religious path already, that's fine. You're welcome. It really is open to everybody. Reiki's not a religion. It can be a spiritual path, but it's not a dogmatic, you gotta believe this way and do it this way or else kind of thing. That's not how it works at all in the lineage that I'm a part of, which is Usui Holy Fire 3. Alright, I also have a video mini course, which is great. It really ties in well with all of this stuff because it's all connected, and my guides are really empowering me to teach this other information too, because we are holistic beings, and it's great to work with this energy and allow it to heal us, but how can we set up our day-to-day existence to maximize that healing process and to raise the vibration of our body and support the raise in the spiritual vibration that's happening as we work with Reiki and connect with Reiki. So I'm teaching the Flower of Healing, the 5 petals of the Flower of Healing, which is basically everything I've learned on my spiritual and healing journey over the past 9 years. Everything I wish I would have learned when I was, a little kid. That I probably knew as a little kid, but, we unlearn things pretty quickly. So I'm teaching that. It's a free video mini course. Y'all can sign up for that, as well as the Reiki 1 and 2 course waitlist, the workshop waitlist. Those links are in my bio or below in the YouTube description if you're watching this later on. So with all that being said, let us invoke the Reiki energy. How about that? I've been working in it all day. So it's already here. As y'all know, the Reiki invocation is a guided meditation that calls in the Reiki energy. So it will go directly to you in the amount that you need, where you need it. And if you're not sure about it, or you don't give your consent to it, it won't go to you at all. So don't worry about it. Just allow the experience to wash over you. And we will get started. So go ahead and close your eyes. Close your eyes. Turn your awareness inward. And take some deep breaths. Dropping into your body. Dropping into your heart. Let go of what you were doing before this. What you have to do after this. And simply be here now. Relieve yourself of the ways and worries and burdens of the world. And tune into this beautiful inner reservoir of peace and love. It's within us always. It's always here, always available. We forget, but still it remains. And it strengthens the more we come here, the more we tune in. It becomes more and more available, becomes more and more a part of our reality, part of our consciousness, a part of our experience. One day it just becomes our default setting. We don't even have to close our eyes to be here. Because all we are is love, and all we see is love. And all that we radiate is love. We can become love. We must remember who we are, so we can surrender to love. The light of Reiki fills the space around you. As you breathe in, the light of Reiki flows in on your breath and fills your body. You receive the light, and the light within you wakes up and is revealed to you. This is the light of your life force, your spirit. There are archangels standing at the corners of the land, and on every side, standing all around you. And they shine their light into the light. As you breathe in, the power of love fills your breath, and you receive the power of love. And the power of love within you wakes up and is revealed. You remember, love is who you are at the core of your being. The light of the divine mind fills your breath, and as you breathe in, you receive the power of the divine mind. And the divine mind within you wakes up. Your higher consciousness, your higher thought is present, and the field of possibilities is open. Your intuition, instincts, and imagination are awake. Your inner guidance, your inner truth, and inner authority are revealed. Your heightened perceptions, senses, instincts, and observations are awake and present and revealed to you. The light of the divine heart fills your breath, and as you breathe in, you receive the power of the divine heart. And the divine heart within you wakes up, and your heart light is revealed. Your heart light shines out in front of you, on each side, above you, below you, and within you. This is your divine presence. And as you see your divine presence, you see it in everything and everyone around you. The light of the earth rises through you and fills your body and your breath. And you remember that your body is made of the earth. Your body gives your life force, your spirit, breath, and life. Your body is the treasure house for your great beaming light. Your pure human spirit is revealed. The light of creation, the light of God, fills the air you breathe and flows in and reveals the light of creation, the light of God in you. Your divine spirit is revealed. Your divine spirit and human spirit unify in your breath. When you listen, you can hear the heartbeat of the earth and the heartbeat of creation beating in the same rhythm as your heart. The light of creation and the light of your body are one light within you. Your divine nature is present in your human nature. You remember your beautiful spirit, your life force is here in your life, in this moment in time. Look into your heart and say thank you to you. Take this time to notice how deeply you love, how deeply you care. We say thank you to each other. We are meant to be here together today. We say thank you to the angels and the enlightened ones who join us, and thank you to the teachers who come before us and the descendants who come after us. We are honored to be among them. Aho, amen, namaste, and so it is. Thank you, mahalo. As a child of God, I claim my power and purpose as a servant of God. I demand that all darkness leave me and all who are watching immediately. I ask that Archangel Michael place me and all who are watching in his blue bubble of protection against all darkness. Y'all can start coming back. Take your time. Invocations are deep. They go deep. Seems like it's not a big deal. It's a big deal. They blast out the shadow with the light. Remove what no longer serves. Let it go. But they don't just leave you empty, like, you know, with all these holes in you from where they removed things. What I saw today is that during certain spirit release techniques, the one I talked about like a week ago, these beings will remove these dark spots, these dark patches in our bodies, in our energy fields. Remove them, send them to the light to be healed. They release themselves because they have the opportunity to be forgiven by God. God always forgives. Always forgives. We have to be willing to let go of these things. That's essential. And then the spirit, the entity, whatever it is, has the chance to go into the light. And then I saw this luminous, like putty, that the divine ones were using in those spots that were the darkness, where the darkness was extracted. Luminous putty was going in, repairing the body, repairing the energy field, not just leaving it all with a bunch of holes in it or something. And then golden light going from the feet, and slowly taking all the darkness away from the body. Golden light just rising, rising, rising through the body, from the feet all the way up, replacing the darkness with golden light. And then all the chakras turning on, and all their beautiful colors lighting up, as bright as they could be, as pure as they could be, fully activated, fully empowered. This healing work is deep because the symbols allow us to go back in the soul's history and heal things that are not in this present life experience, and to really purify and burn up that karma, as well as heal the parts of ourselves in this current incarnation that were unhealthy and imbalanced and actually attracted these unhealthy spirits to come on in. You know, these vulnerable points where they're able to attach and we host them. So Reiki does, it heals those parts of ourselves, because it's a two-way street, right? It's a two-way street, and there are certain things that make us more vulnerable and more unhealthy, and thus attract those unhealthy spirits in, those unhealthy attachments in. And Reiki brings that into our awareness, so that moving forward we can be more conscious and make better choices with healthier lifestyle habits, with healthy relationship habits, with things that are truly high vibrational. Because as we raise our vibration with Reiki, our bodies will no longer tolerate these low vibrational habits or substances we might be drawn to consume, and will actually reject those substances or those habits. And Reiki can really help with healing any kind of compulsive behavior, like the really tricky ones. It can help with the addictions too. I'm working with that myself actually right now. I've let go of many addictions, but the one that's in compulsive behaviors, but the one I'm really working with right now is this like nervous skin picking that I would do. Skin picking and like scalp picking and scratching and even hair pulling sometimes. And I noticed myself still, starting to do it at times. And I was like, what's this about? Where does this come from? And what came up for me is that as a little girl, I used to suck my thumb to self-soothe. And what happened was, that becomes unacceptable after a certain age, and, being told that that's not okay anymore. So I switched from sucking my thumb to scratching or picking or, nitpicking myself, pulling. And, that stuck over adulthood, and it got worse. And then, it started this whole trajectory of like critical thoughts and perfectionism, and literally picking at myself mentally and physically. And I'm really grateful to have that awareness now. And I'm like, Reiki, what do I do about this? Because I have these compulsions to do it at certain times, triggered by certain things. And they're like, just give yourself Reiki then. That's the ultimate way to self-soothe. Instead of that compulsive, scratching my head, like making a hole in my scalp, I can, massage my scalp, give myself a scalp massage, a head massage, and then and activate Reiki while I'm doing it. So it's not only a feel-good massage, but it's sending the healing energy as well. Or if, just placing the hand too would be a suitable substitution. But that's just an example of, me doing my part as I'm really starting to let go of these perfectionist tendencies, these self-critical thoughts, but to take it to the next level of actually stopping the compulsive behavior that is bound up in those critical thoughts. And Reiki's helping me do that. So many of us, we get these different compulsive behaviors that do not serve us. Don't serve us at all. And they trick us often into thinking that we have no choice, right? We have no choice. It's just what you do. It's just who you are. Like, what if you give it up, then you'll be at a loss. You won't feel that comfort that it brings. But really, you give it up, you obtain a greater level of health, you obtain a greater level of self-love. You know, these compulsive behaviors are often not loving ones, you know. It's not, would God or Jesus or any of these enlightened masters that some of us might look up to, like, would he want you to be tearing your face up or your scalp up or pulling your hair out? Or, you know, insert addiction or compulsive behavior of choice. You know, does that behavior belong in a sacred body container? Because these are gifts. They're gifts made of the earth, from the earth, the divine human spirit and human nature merging with the divine spirit and divine nature in the sacred container of the earth-made body, right? And as our vibration raises, we have a chance, we have an opportunity to embrace the letting go process, to really, you know, take it from me, right? Take it from me. I surrender to Reiki energy. I surrender to the source of the Reiki energy. This is a prayer I'm working with. Wasn't that cool? Did the color change for y'all when I did this? That was weird. I turned golden. Oh, y'all. It's a ride. It's a ride. It can be hard at times, though. It can be really hard. That's something I wanted to talk about today was healing crisis, because this is very common. I started encountering this. I encountered this myself. I shared this in my Reiki 1 and 2 training, my first one. I had a lot of intestinal discomfort coming up for me. Like my bowels were just like in lock and like cramping, and like it felt like a black snake, and it looked like a black snake energetically when I tuned into my third eye. I mean, it hurt a lot. And headaches, like migraine, terrible headaches, okay? This happened at that training, and others at the training were reporting similar things, different symptoms. One girl, she couldn't stop eating, headaches, gut issues, different flare-ups of illnesses people had. And then when I started giving sessions to people, you know, a lot of time people would feel really good after, but then I had some clients who were like, actually, like, I felt bad after. And, you know, as a new Reiki practitioner, I'm like, oh, like I messed up or something, but that's not the case. I'll share with y'all an article that deals with this, I think, in a very clear, articulate, beautiful, Reiki-infused way. But I also want to share that at my Reiki master training, a lot of those symptoms that I experienced in Reiki 1 and 2, those came up again for me too. My guts hurt really, really bad. I had terrible headaches pretty much the whole time. Like, some of my compulsive eating behaviors really flared up after that. I had a lot of trouble. Actually, like, it was a rough ride. Really rough. Bringing up a lot for me, just from the Reiki 1 and 2 training to the master training, and then after the master training too. Like, I can look back now, like I'm on the other side now where things are clicking and have gotten a lot easier, and I'm healthier than I've ever been in my life and at a higher vibration on all levels than I've ever been. But it took time for this energy to integrate in my body. And, you know, we receive as much as we can, and then often it can be tough, and it can be tough for people in different ways. It depends on how we process things. So I've done a lot of healing work. in a lot of different modalities. I've done a lot of spiritual practice, a lot of different modalities. So I had already cleared a lot of things out before I even got Reiki. I'd already cleaned up my lifestyle immensely before I already got Reiki. So I think my process may be easier compared to other people's, or it might have been shorter compared to other people's. But for me, it was still difficult and confusing, and like, I felt, a little lost, a little bit like, is this really like a good thing, after a while? But then, as I just stuck with it, and more of that culturally created self was burnt off by the Holy Fire Reiki, and I was doing more and more my part in my practical day-to-day life to support the integration with that energy, right? Dropping the habits that no longer serve me, stopping people pleasing, actually getting authentic about like where I want to live and what I want to do, and really going for it, right? And like being very mindful of what kind of media I consume, and getting really, really steady with my diet, getting really, really steady with my fitness, and finding the right kind of fitness that works for me. And, a lot of other things, bringing meditation in a very specific, intentional way. All of these have been very, very supportive. Not drinking alcohol, not smoking, not using recreational drugs, not eating animals, like really getting super clean. That's all really helped, and I've been receptive to what Reiki reveals to me to be the habit that I need to drop, and not like, oh, well, I really just like that habit, so I'm gonna keep doing it, when Reiki's like, Taylor, your vibration is higher than that habit. Like, you just let it go, you just release it. Like the compulsive eating, for example, or the skin picking, for example, the binge eating, that kind of thing. I mean, that was not easy. That was not easy to let go. The skin picking, like, this is not really easy either. Like, I've done that for 30 years, or maybe less, but a long time. And the same with the using food really as a comfort. Like, that's hard when you're not drinking or watching TV or doing anything else, and you have no other, numbing behavior. It's like, but I don't need it. I don't need the numbing behavior. It's a trick. It's a trick. Because I can feel good without that thing. I can feel better. That thing is creating additional problems for me. That Reiki is trying to liberate me from the creation of those additional problems. Which, whatever the compulsive behavior is like a big, like, hey, y'all, like fireworks going off. Come on over. All the negative entities, come on over. She's in a low vibe spot. She's binging out on macadamia nuts, or she's picking all over her face and scalp. Let's attach in on this. We can get on board. We can drop in some other self-critical thoughts and some other bad habits and just have a little party here, right? It's a vulnerability. Like, the compulsive behavior has you thinking, oh, I'm here, I'm comforting you, I'm soothing you, I'm making you feel better, I'm giving you something to do, whatever. But meanwhile, what it's really doing is like, hey, y'all, come on in, let's wreak havoc on this person's life, because like clearly they're not loving themselves right now. And Reiki has given me the chance to stop doing that. And as a result, my energy field has stayed a lot clearer. It's been free of these entities. If something gets on me or is in my field, it's like, I know, and I know how to deal with it. I know how to deal with it. And I'm more and more aware of these like lingering, more and more subtle layers of my culturally created self, so I can go ahead and release them. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share about that. Personally, just so y'all know, like, this hasn't been, super easy, streamlined year for me. It's not for a lot of the people I've worked with and other Reiki professionals I've talked to about, not always do we feel super good after a session or super good after working in the energy. Like even in those trainings and those workshops, I received so much healing, and I was just like, I know this headache, I need to just like understand that that's what's happening right now. Like that they're working on my head hardcore, you know, in ways that I can't work on my head. And, you know, clearing out third eye, clearing out the crown, clearing out the throat, all of these areas, or the pain in my guts. They were releasing sexual trauma. If you're having pain in gut stuff, here, we'll read about this. I'm getting ahead of myself and forward in, you know, time. All the things. Anyway, they were releasing sexual trauma for me. A lot of sexual trauma and like, yeah, a lot of sexual trauma. Throughout, you know, my life, past lives, etc. So, what is this? Oh, it was a different article that talks about that. So I was looking at two articles. There was Reiki and PTSD, which was a really good one. It broke down the energy field, like what gets stored in which energy centers. Let me see if I can find that one, because that one's worth talking about here. As I just brought it up. But yeah, root chakra are going to be, oh man, I always type in the website wrong. Even though it's reiki.org, it's like I can't remember it. I call it something else, icrt.org. It's just not. So Reiki and PTSD. And PTSD, that post-traumatic stress disorder, can come up, you know, from so many different traumas. Any kind of trauma, natural disaster, some kind of sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse. You witness something horrifying. And a lot of these traumas too, it's like we don't even remember them, okay? And you can carry over traumas from past life experiences as well. So like, no wonder you can't remember it, or it's wreaking havoc in your life, but like you just don't have access to the memory. So yeah, all right, la 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 la. Okay, and also it develops after an injury to the soul. Okay, PTSD. The primal urge to survive dominates the human experience during that traumatic act. In times of crisis or trauma, a person may often do anything to survive. A person being robbed or raped, assaulted or beaten may surrender or just give in to stay alive. In times of war or battle, innocent people may be killed, horrific things may be done to another human being, or a soldier can survive an attack when others in his or her command didn't. The soul knows the difference between good and bad, right and wrong. The above are examples of good people being caught in impossible dilemmas. The things they do to survive may be at odds with their core ethical and moral beliefs. A person may have to go against his or her conscience and find it challenging to believe in his or her own worth and goodness afterwards. Shame and guilt may follow, contributing to the development of PTSD as well. And in that shame and guilt, in the aftermath of trauma, it's like the compulsive behavior I was just talking about. It's like fireworks, like come on over, negative entities, if you want to look at it that way too. It's like this person's weak, they're in a bad spot, they're a good host, yeah, party, throw down. So the energetic dynamics of trauma. Looking at the energetic chakra system, you can see that trauma can affect a person at any level. There are some different methods you can use that I'll teach in Reiki 1 and 2, and you can use a pendulum too, to look and see which area is the most out of balance. Or now I don't even use this stuff, I just know, and I can tell on myself too. Any trauma to that part of the body, so a physical trauma or what it represents, can affect the person physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. Here are some examples. So y'all know the chakra system, maybe, starting at, stand up, do a little demo. Starting at the root would be, down here. Then the sacral would be somewhere about right here. Solar plexus just above. The heart, at the heart center. between the breast, where the sternum is pretty much. There's the throat here. There's the third eye in between the brows. And there's the crown. And those are the 7 that are on the body. There's also, above their hand chakras, feet chakras, one below you when you stand. But those are the 7 ones that are located in the body. So the first chakra, the root chakra, has to do with safety and survival, one's family of origin or roots. Any threat to one's survival, be it a natural disaster, attack, loss of job, home, family dysfunction, or active violence, that's going to be stored in the root chakra. The second chakra, creative or sacral chakra, has to do with creativity, sexuality, or intimacy. Some say it also represents where we store our emotions. Any threat to or attack of a sexual nature, any loss of physical function, or betrayals of intimacy. So it's where we store our emotions too. So if there's a bunch of repressed or unprocessed emotions, that's all going to be happening in this area, big time. Third chakra, solar plexus or power center chakra, represents our personal power and its expression. Any attack that attempts to take away one's power or make one submissive. So this chakra would get really weak if we're more in like a victim mentality, seeing everyone doing stuff to us and we don't really have any control in our lives. That's kind of the vibration of third chakra damage, which is a lie. It's like we do have control. We have control over our own behavior, our thoughts, our actions. We have the power to set boundaries, to say no, to express what we need, and to make sure we're meeting our own needs too. That's very, very empowering, to just realize what your needs are and start meeting them yourself and not expect everyone else to miraculously just meet your needs. Because they don't know. They probably don't even know how to take care of themselves. How are they going to take care of you? The fourth chakra or heart chakra has to do with love. Love of self, love of others. Loss of love, loss of a loved one, betrayal, hurtful words or actions is what's all stored here. I've been doing a lot of heart work. That came up for me as probably this is like the thing that's been the most healed in me and needed the most healing. I thought it was like my throat. I was like, is it my throat? Is it my guts? But really it was the heart, because when the heart is not in balance and fully functional and working, then it's the connection between our lower chakras and these higher chakras. So it's going to cause throat to be way out of balance, and it's also going to cause the lower chakras where I was having all the gut problems to be out of balance. If the healing of the heart, if the heart is just like a total freaking mess, it's a, drop into this deep, deep void of pain, which I had one person, an intuitive guy in Thailand, like he was kind of new to energy work, and he was like trying to give me a bit of a session, and I was kind of like, do you know what you're doing, right? And he went on my heart and was like, whoa, girl, like, there's a lot here, and like, I don't think I'm your healer. So I was like, yeah, I know. And then I proceeded to work on my heart, then the next like 4 years. That was 4 years ago. I was like, all right, I really need to be working on this in different ways, different modalities. Reiki really also guiding me to other modalities once I received the Reiki, like knowing, oh, the smudging is really going to help with that. Oh, this crystal's really going to help with that. And, what ways I could heal my heart in addition to just using the Reiki. So there's the fifth chakra or throat chakra. This has to do with communication. Do you speak up for yourself? Are your words suppressed? Are you allowed to speak, or often silence? That one was completely shut down on me for a long time. Completely shut down. had a lot to do with my heart being so messed up. But yeah, can also manifest as like scratchy throat, needing to clear your throat. Singing is really good for the throat chakra, I'm finding, to like keep it open and cleared out. And I'm not just singing like rap song or something, like singing a high vibe song, like, you know, something that's uplifting, something, or even praying out loud is a really good way to support the throat chakra. The sixth chakra, or third eye chakra, has to do with intuition or knowing. Do you trust what you sense or know? Do others negate or ridicule your knowing? Has life led you to distrust your intuition? Has something bad happened because you didn't listen to your inner voice? Yeah, getting back in touch with that. That's what we empower during the invocation with the light of divine mind. Empowering your intuition, your instincts and imagination are awake. So bringing that back into our lives, it's like, can make good decisions, see things clearly, can see, you know, it lifts the veil of denial too, like issues we weren't dealing with, and discerning what's true and false for you, and yeah, just seeing, being awake. And there's a lot of cool stuff that can happen with the sixth chakra too, like clairvoyance and auras and beautiful things. The seventh chakra, or crown chakra, relates to spirituality and feeling connected to a higher power source. Have you lost faith or trust in life with your fellow human beings? Do you feel alone in the world, not connected? These are issues of the seventh chakra. Loneliness is actually an issue of the seventh chakra, because as soon as we connect to the divine, even if you're like me, I'm living a very solitary existence, not interacting with a lot of people in person all the time. You know, most of my interaction is happening online. I don't feel alone or lonely because my connection to the divine is so strong. It's so strong, and yeah, when I'm around other people, it's like, that's a gift, but I'm perfectly happy just being on my own too, because I'm not really alone. Not really alone. We're not really alone ever. That's an illusion. Always connected to a higher source of consciousness, you know, whatever you want to name it. It's always available. It comes in our packaging. Or you can even look at it like the biofield, like a more scientific way, a tapping into the collective consciousness. There's so much available to us all the time. So that's a bit about the energy centers and how they may store different traumas. And yeah, that's a really, really powerful article. There's a lot more, but Reiki really helps with PTSD. I wanted to talk now about the healing crisis. So I'm just going to read to y'all because it's a really good article. Story time, kids. Circle around now. Get comfortable. Healing defined. The many complementary and alternative practices available today, including Reiki, have varying ways of approaching healing, yet all share a common holistic philosophy that seeks to address the entire person. This approach views every symptom of dis-ease that you may be experiencing as having a corresponding physical, psychological, mental, and/or spiritual component that is contributing to the cause of the concern. We are holistic beings. Healing is therefore defined within a much broader framework than simply addressing a physical or psychological symptom or attempting to cure a disease. In fact, healing is truly a way of life when held in this context, and it is an ongoing process that never stops presenting you with opportunities for growth and transformation. It's a holistic lifestyle. It's a healing lifestyle. Although many people have reported spontaneous healing of their health conditions or imbalances, deep healing of the total person often involves a process that takes place over time and is not always a tidy, linear process. Rather, healing tends to follow a pattern that spirals and recycles over and over again, peeling away the layers of each concern until the healing is complete. This has definitely been true for me. I've revisited many different issues again and again. It wasn't like a one and done kind of thing. It's been a process. And it's deeper healing each time, to the point where I'm realizing certain things have been cleared completely, finally, but it's taken 9 years of work around it. This is because the original issue or symptom is most often related to more than one aspect of a person's life, and very likely involves shifting the patterning found in all levels of the energy field. Reiki and other energy healing modalities work with and positively affect the human energy system, and are non-invasive hands-on healing approaches that gently support healing at all levels. The universal healing energy of Reiki harmonizes your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies by grounding the essential life force within your energy system, which expands your capacity to carry more light and love. It harmonizes all your bodies, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, grounding this life force energy in your body, in your field. This activates your innate healing resources, supporting the healing of acute and chronic disease, as well as anxiety, fatigue, depression, stress, addictions, and other symptoms of imbalance. Other reported benefits include deep relaxation, stress reduction, clearing of addictive patterns, emotional stability, and better self-esteem. The purification process. A great deal of purification and cleansing takes place when working with Reiki as part of the healing process. As such, it is important for you to inform each person with whom you are working about the healing process and be a part of his or her support team. That's what I'm doing right now. Care must be taken to describe the process in a way that is thorough yet does not cause undue worry or concern. You want to avoid creating a self-fulfilling prophecy or the expectation of always being in some form of crisis or drama, since this is most often not the case. Like I said, sometimes people feel great after receiving Reiki. There's no problem. Go through a Reiki training, you feel amazing the whole time. Other times it's more of a mixed bag. Other times it's a little difficult for a while, okay? Or, I mean, it's always difficult to the extent we're able to deal with, too. It's helping us grow. The flow of Reiki energy through the physical and subtle bodies encourages the gradual release of physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual toxins that have made their way into the cellular memory and built up in the energy system over time. Toxic buildup is the result of past experiences such as injuries, illnesses, and traumatic events, as well as poor health habits and pollutants in this and other lifetimes. Okay, so a really rough response to Reiki may be that you have an enormous toxic buildup of past experiences such as injuries, illnesses, and traumatic events, as well as poor health habits and pollutants in this and other lifetimes. And Reiki's clearing it out for you. Much of the release experience is relatively gentle, does not take a great deal of time to work through your system, and passes almost without notice. Sometimes, however, the manifestations of the cleansing process are more noticeable and uncomfortable and may take several hours, days, or even weeks or months to work their way through the energy system. The cleansing experience may also be heightened following a Reiki attunement or a series of treatments, because both can greatly accelerate the clearing and healing process. This is sometimes called a healing crisis, which is defined as a time during the release process when old symptoms temporarily resurface, moving you from the chronic stage back through the acute phase of the problem while on the way to true healing. Some things may become acute again. They were chronic, now acute, and then there's healing just around the corner. As toxins are released from all levels of your being, you may experience one or more of the following symptoms: flu-like symptoms, fever, headache, sore throat, coughing, aching joints and muscles, tingling sensations, nausea, constipation, and diarrhea. Temporary changes may also take place in your sleep habits, such as needing to sleep more often and longer, or being wide awake when you normally sleep. It can be intense. Deeply held emotions that have been repressed from earlier experiences, such as grief, fear, depression, sadness, anger, and frustration, may surface for no obvious reason. There may also be times when suppressed memories or other recollections surface in order to allow the body and spirit to heal. You may also feel empty and alone. Old and current behavior patterns found in the mental body may become magnified. You may also experience judgmental, blaming, victimizing, and abusive thoughts. As the spiritual body is purified, your beliefs about life, religion, relationships, how the world operates, and your self-identity may be shaken and will need to be questioned and revised. As uncomfortable emotions and thought patterns from your shadow self come into your consciousness, simply allow yourself to observe and experience them without getting too caught up in them. Think of this process as a train where each of the cars is marked with an emotion, such as sadness or thoughts of self-invalidation. As the train comes through your consciousness, just let it move along without stopping it and climbing aboard any of the cars. Acknowledge the old emotions and thoughts as they pass through you as how you once felt, and then let them go. Welcome your new understanding of those old limiting beliefs that no longer serve you, and have the courage to let them go. As the well-known expression says, let go and let God. Form a new spiritual foundation based on true wisdom, inspiration, and understanding. Read uplifting books and spend time with like-minded people. Meditate and look within for your own answers. Do breathing exercises to bring the life force into your body. Chant sacred sounds. Sing sacred songs. Remember to call on your spirit guides and angels, the ascended masters, and the source for assistance while staying grounded and connecting to Mother Earth. All of the uncomfortable experiences that accompany a healing crisis are commonplace and are not usually cause for worry or concern. They naturally result from the process of bringing the flow of Reiki into the energy system. They are nature's way of purifying body, mind, emotions, and the soul, making way for higher levels of consciousness to be grounded in the body. Rather than being symptoms of illness, they can be viewed as signs of true healing in progress. It is also important to note that the symptoms of a healing crisis are not caused by Reiki. Rather, the Reiki energy helps to bring awareness and healing to those imbalances that are already active within you. So they can't be denied or suppressed anymore. It's an opportunity to let go. Let go fully. Let go completely. Let go and let God. Let God's love in. Let God's love replace all of those physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual toxins that are being released. And to trust the process and to know that it will end, it will change to the extent you're able to really let go and surrender to the process and, you know, soothe yourself, like this article's saying, with your prayer, with meditation, with really reflecting and taking time to go within and sort this stuff out for yourself, with uplifting books, time with like-minded people, meditation, looking within, breathing exercises, taking breaths of fresh air, fresh, pure air, you know, in for 4, hold for 4, and release for 4. So comfort and soothe the nervous system. It's a really simple one. There are a lot of other breathing techniques. Chanting sacred sounds, saying prayers, singing prayers, engaging directly with your spirit guides, your angels, God, the ascended masters, the illumined ones, whoever you connect to, and asking them for assistance, and also asking them, what do I need to do? How can I do my part? What is being asked of me? What is being asked of me now? How can I let go more fully? What are you asking me to let go of? How can I help this process complete? How can I be an ally in my own healing? And they'll let you know. They'll let you know. Yeah. Again, I just want to say, it is also important to note that the symptoms of a healing crisis are not caused by Reiki. Rather, the Reiki energy helps to bring awareness and healing to those imbalances that are already active within you. Reiki doesn't harm. Does not harm. Yeah. I love y'all. Please share this if you're feeling some healing or you think someone needs this information. It's powerful information. Really powerful information, powerful frequency of information too. Maybe you couldn't even listen to this, but like the transmission was received nonetheless. So please share this if you feel called to. And remember, I'm teaching Reiki 1 and 2 in May online. Please sign up for the course waitlist, the workshop waitlist. It will be a very deep healing experience, and it's an opportunity to turn your life around and really, you know, bring forward your authentic self and release what no longer serves. Really, really releasing what no longer serves and empowering your highest divine expression within your sacred human body container. That waitlist link is in my bio, or it's in the description of the YouTube video, and registration I will open up very soon. So thank y'all so much for watching, for being here, for being open and receptive and sharing the energy with me. Much love to you. Namaste. Shine on, beautiful friends. Shine on.